welcome back to episode Unlucky 13 of Freak Like Tea. It is absolutely bloody roasting today in London and I am dying. Be happy I've got clothes on. My guest today is Gillian, the lead vocalist of a rock and roll band called Lyoness. They've just released their single Devil's Dance, which you need to go and check out after this. They've got a brand new single coming out on the 4th of July. Enjoy it. Don't forget to go and follow me on Instagram at FreakJazz666, Twitter at FreakMag666, Facebook at FreakMagazine666. There's a theme going here, in case you didn't notice. And email me at jasmine.lammy@gmail.com for any and all interview review requests. And like and subscribe to this video as well, please.
Just hot as shit.
You're wearing a proper t-shirt as well. I've been trying so hard not to just walk around in my underwear.
Yeah, fair enough. Sometimes I just have to get dressed and feel like I'm halfway put together. I'm going to be gross by the end of the day either way, so might as well feel alright about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure if John has briefed you on this, but basically throughout lockdown, as a massive fan of music, and particularly rock and metal, the band shirt is such an important staple of my wardrobe and a lot of other people like me as well. So seeing as you guys can't tour anymore and bands can't tour, the next best thing for fans like me to be able to do is to buy band merchandise. So basically I want to delve into the kind of things you were listening to when you were growing up, and if you had any sort of band merch of the bands that you loved as well.
That's a good question. God, the things I listened to growing up, the Beatles were my first love, like my first most favorite band, and still definitely an all-time favorite band. I can't remember wearing a lot of band merchandise when I was younger, probably not until I was basically able to go to the mall by myself.
Yeah.
Go to Hot Topic. I don't know if that's too much of an American reference, but it's just one of those stores that sells band merchandise. And I think the first band t-shirt I ever remember properly having and wearing was actually a Paul McCartney shirt that I got at one of his concerts. So that's probably my first band t-shirt.
If you got it at one of his concerts, did it also have the tour dates on the back as well?
It didn't have the tour dates. I went for a more stylized one. I didn't get the full tour dates one, but when was that? 2005 or something like that? Maybe 2003. I'm not sure. Yeah, I still have it. So, and I probably still could wear it. It'd be a little bit tight now, but
you can always customize it as well, make it into something else.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
I also, on another interview I watched yesterday, you mentioned that your first CD and concert you ever bought and went to was a Carlos Santana one. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How was that?
I actually woke up really sick that day and didn't tell my parents. I think I was about 7 or 8, and I didn't tell my parents that I was really, really ill, and we ended up having to leave the show early because I was really sick, but I didn't want to miss it. I was just so desperate to go. So yeah, that was a cool experience, and it was great because I don't have to be embarrassed about the first band was that I saw. I think the second band I saw was 98 Degrees, so it kind of balances out.
So as well, on the topic of merchandise, I've had a look at some of your band's merch as well. Got some nice quirky designs. Can you talk me through sort of the ideas for the imagery on those? Yeah,
so really, as far as I remember, we didn't really talk too much. So there's a few designs. We've got the I t-shirt. We have a plain Lyoness t-shirt for the purists that just says Lyoness. And we've also got an I Don't Care t-shirt that is specific to one of the singles. And M from Milk Teeth designed those.
Okay.
And Nervous. M is also a Nervous. And we kind of just let M do their thing. We were just go do what you want to do, and we trust you. We trust it to be really cool. When it comes to collaborating with other artists, whether it be for music videos or merchandise, we generally just have the collective that they listen to the music and they bring out something amazing. The other shirt we have is a Demon Beat shirt, which also came out with one of the singles called Demon Beat. Yep. And Jack Watts, or as he's known on the internets, Tattoos for Your Enemies, he did that one. It's a white t-shirt with a red demon design on it. And again, we just kind of said, listen to the song, see what happens, see what comes out of you. And that kind of, for us, is the most pure version of getting the best out of that artist.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. You've been mentioning some of your singles there. Your latest single, Devil's Dance, love it, by the way. I think I saw in another interview that it was mentioned it's inspired by the greatest legend ever told about a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Which one are you referring to?
So that song is inspired by Robert Johnson.
I thought it might have been.
Yeah.
Love that story.
Yeah, it's a great story, and I can't remember exactly where it came from. I watched a documentary around the same time that we were kind of piecing this song together. Had bits and pieces of lyrics and bits and pieces of melodies, and there was something about the way the music just was so driving and so like dark, so full of kind of this like devilish energy that it just kind of all came together, and the whole thing was written. The whole thing came together within like maybe 2 days. Okay. As soon as it just kind of clicked in, it was great.
That's really cool. Was it the documentary? Was it one on Netflix?
It might have been. There was one on Amazon as well. I think I actually ended up watching them probably back to back because I was just fascinated by the story.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite stories. You got so many musicians and films that have come out of it. It's just.
And there's like almost no music of his that's actually survived. Like in the grand scheme of things, for the legend and the impact that he's had on so many musicians through the last nearly 100 years, and like almost none of his music survived. So it's just it's crazy how sometimes it's just how sometimes people can have a music career that is so short but leaves such a huge impact.
Yeah, it's mental. So, as well, what are your vocal influences?
That's a good question.
I'm full of them.
Yeah, you are. I don't know. That's always a tough one. Like, I have a real appreciation for vocalists who are just really authentic, and they don't try to sing any other way than what is natural to them. I love Alison Mosshart from The Kills. I think she's got an incredible voice, and it's kind of adapted and changed over the years. I love Jack White as well. I'm actually wearing a Raconteurs t-shirt that I did get at one of their shows, and I love the way he sings. It's just very strange, but there's just something so genuine about it. But I also, I grew up on the Beatles, so I love vocalists who know how to blend their voices together and make beautiful harmonies. I was in choir from the time I was in 4th grade all the way up until I graduated high school, not because I loved choral music, but because I loved to sing, and I loved to kind of make music that was outside of me. So, yeah, I probably have a lot of influences, but the whole point is to, I think, enjoy what somebody else does. And as a vocalist, when I like to sing along with other musicians or with other vocalists, I also like to just push myself a little bit. It's like you push yourself to get a little bit better, or try something new, try something out of your comfort zone, and then you always fall back to that place that is like authentically yours.
Also, you mentioned that you grew up in America. When did you make the move? What made you decide that?
So I moved here originally came here in 2013 and officially moved in 2014 because the visa process was actually quite long. I moved here to be with my now husband and bandmate. So that's how I came to be in England.
How did you guys meet then?
We met when he was on tour with Gallows, actually. Kind of just a chance meeting, and both of us looked at each other and went, oh God, is this happening? Because I was still getting my degree at the time, and both of us were just broke and all over the place.
Yeah.
And, after a little while, we got our shit together and decided that we were going to make it happen. And we did.
That's so cute. As well, because you've just mentioned that you guys are married now. Mm-hmm. Has there been any sort of hurdles being in a band with your partner at all?
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. For as much good and fun that it can be in having these kinds of experiences with, your partner, it's just as challenging. We're both super stubborn about what we envisioned for the band. We're both super creative and, sort of always want to take the lead, but always want to respect each other. And it's even just down to simple things like not being able to put it away, living in the same house, being in lockdown, and, kind of DIYing so much stuff for the band at the minute. Like, we do all of our own recordings, all of our own mixing and mastering is in-house as well. It's a lot when, two members of the band not only live together, but are also in a relationship. But it's, for all the hurdles that we have, it's that much more enjoyable too.
Yeah. So you've been in lockdown as well. What kind of things have you been doing while in lockdown to propel the progress of your band without being able to go to any gigs?
Yeah, so we've been lucky. We've been doing some of the lockdown gigs, the live gigs and stuff, and that's been really an interesting and fun experience because Lyoness has only been a band for just over a year. Yeah. And we first started playing out in April of last year, so we didn't even kind of get to a full year before we went into lockdown. But it's given us a chance to kind of stop and reassess and reevaluate and strip all the songs back to an acoustic guitar and vocals and see what the song actually is. A song isn't just big riffs and lots of noise and lots of layers and stuff. Like, a song is a melody and some chords. Yeah. And so that's been really fun to do. And yeah, other than that, we've just been kind of thinking about next steps. We've got a new single that's going to come out on the 4th of July. So that's a week from tomorrow, I suppose. And we're really excited about that one. And we've just been kind of doing all the stuff in the background, getting that prepared while we're in lockdown.
Yeah. With that song as well, what sets this single apart from all the other ones that you've released?
That's a tough question. I suppose, we've really decided that the first 3 singles as well were kind of all live from the studio. So we kind of really wanted to just go in and do it really raw, just see what came out, see what the sound was like, see what that feel was like. And after now having done 3, and being able to kind of take a little bit of a step back, and, we've kind of come in with a little bit more of a vision from the start about what the end sound is going to be and how we can translate what we do live in a way that is just as exciting, when you're listening to it in your house. And that's kind of the goal there. So what sets it apart is hopefully just that every step of the way we're kind of continuing to hone in on what that sound is.
Yeah, I've seen on your Instagram the latest photo you've put up to promote it. There's an image of Trump on a TV. Is this politically charged at all, this one?
It is a politically charged song, which I don't know if we're necessarily a politically charged band. But I suppose being an American, I can't sit idly by and watch what's happening and not have something to say about it. Which is why, what we've done recently is that the merchandise that we do have for sale on our Big Cartel site right now, all of the proceeds are going to Black Lives Matter. And we said it was going to be just for June, but I'm just going to make the executive decision. We're going to do it just as long as we can keep that going and kind of keep that financing up, that we can give that money to a good cause.
Yeah. Am I also right in thinking that you're a life and business coach as well?
Yes, yeah. So that's what I do for my day job is I life coach people and I coach them in their businesses, and yeah, it's really weird and really fun and really exciting, and it's kind of strange to be in a rock and roll band and then life coach people, but you'd be surprised how those two things really go together.
I mean, like, especially now with the pandemic and people's businesses and stuff, are you finding, is your work different now during a pandemic than it was beforehand?
I've worked from home for a really long time, and I've worked remotely for a really long time. Like, even when life coaching and business coaching weren't my full-time gigs, I had worked from home previously, and so a lot of that stuff, just like being remote, was very much the same. You know, what's changing is that people either have a lot more time and want to do stuff, you know, want to like work on personal development or want to grow their business or whatever, or want to work on their creative projects, and recognize that like paying in for that can be a really like enormous investment, you know, that pays off for years to come. But the other side of it, just like bands, the same effect is happening, is that we don't always have the same opportunities to earn. We don't have the same opportunities to go out there and kind of do the things that we want to do in the ways we normally do it. So it's a trade-off at the minute. But we're, you know, in our house, we're lucky to be able to make things move forward pretty normally.
You've also been trying to learn guitar as well recently?
Oh, God, yeah.
How's that been going? Because I've had a guitar ever since I was maybe 14, and I still only know about 4 chords.
Yeah, so it's hugely frustrating. It is just not... the reason I've stuck to singing for so long was because it's so natural. I remember being in, you know, like, the back of my dad's car when I was little, and he and my sister would sit up front and just chat about like school and life and their days and whatever, and I'd just be sitting in the back like bopping along to whatever song was on the radio or whatever Beatles tape he was playing, and I was just kind of in my own world. So singing always came naturally to me, and every time I picked up a guitar, it's just so much work. It's so difficult. But I'm enjoying it. You know, it's cool to challenge myself, and even start writing little bits of music while you're kind of learning to pick up those chords. But yeah, it's really challenging. It's really hard to just keep at it when your fingers hurt and nothing makes sense. And every time you open a new song, there's like 6 new chords that you never knew existed. So, but it's cool. Like we'll see how that ends up coming into Lyoness one day.
Yeah, I get that as well. Like, I've been trying to learn for years, and it just, like you said, it doesn't come naturally, so I just kind of put it down and don't pick it up again for another 2 years.
Yeah, and that's why I've tried to just set myself, like, some really, like, simple targets, some simple habits of just, like, 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and that's it. That's all I'm focusing on right now. And then, you know, the hope is that it'll just get a little bit easier.
True. What kind of things have you been trying to learn, then?
So mostly at the minute, I'm just finding songs through like different guitar chord websites or guitar tab websites, and songs that I know and that I want to be able to sing to. Because again, that's always like the jumping off point for me. So I've been learning some Phoebe Bridgers songs, because I love her. I think she's amazing. And some of the songs are really simple. I can manage them pretty well. Some of them are really complex, so I'll get there eventually.
Yeah. I think with me, the trouble with me is, like, I'm into, like, proper, like, bluesy rock and roll and heavy metal, so I immediately want to be like, oh, I want to know how to shred, but I don't want to put in the effort.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just trying to like get my head around how to just make a C chord without having to like put every single finger on individually.
Tell me a bit about your band name, because it's spelt quite cool. Is it supposed to be reminiscent of a lioness?
So, God, how did we even name the band? In the early stages, we had thrown around a few different ideas, and this was the one that just kind of stuck. I think Lyoness simply came about because, like, I'm obsessed with cats. Like, I've got the 2 most amazing cats in the whole world, and they're like my soulmates, my children. They're amazing. And I guess, you know, that kind of female energy is super, super important, like bringing more women and diversity in general, not just women, but, you know, people of color and people of all orientations and identifiers being in rock and roll. We don't see tons of that. Yeah. And so it was really important for me to, like, own that shit and not just live up to the masculine kind of bro culture that you see a lot in rock and roll.
Yeah.
And so kind of owning that, like, femaleness or that identity was really important to me. And we kind of just landed on Lyoness, and I'm not sure where the Y came from, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if it was just Lyoness with an I was already taken, or if there was some specific reason. I suppose it's a little French as well. It has the Lyon kind of feel to it. But yeah, it's just, band names are always a weird one. But it was, yeah, we kind of landed on that because that, like, female, like, cat power is really feels like a good representation of what we do.
So you have also mentioned that your next single is out on the 4th of July. Do you have anything else lined up after that? Anything else you want to plug?
So, yeah, we've got our next single coming out on the 4th of July. That is called Throne. It'll be out on all streaming services and et cetera, and we'll be talking about it on Instagram and Facebook and all those things. After that, we will probably release some more music later this year. And I don't know, we're just going to kind of see what happens. You know, it's a really weird time for the music industry. It's a really weird time for us as individuals, and usually where a lot of this magic happens, writing new music, is when we're all in a room together. So we're gonna try to just get really creative and have some fun. We've got some old songs in the pipeline. I say old songs we haven't fully completed yet in the pipeline to kind of work on and play with and demo out. And we're just gonna really revel in having the opportunity to slow down a little bit and write more music and release more music, and hopefully when it's safe for everybody, we will be back on stage.
Yeah. Is there a particular venue you miss playing the most?
Our local venue is the Horn in St. Albans, and it's part of the Save Our Venues Trust. There's a big kind of campaign going on right now across the country that one of the local guys, Luke Hinton, is involved in, and it's all about kind of going to these grassroots venues, these small venues, these local, like, 100-200 cat venues, to try to save them, because they're so reliant on bands coming through and on people coming through and you know, every week, and we're not getting that right now. So that's really important to us right now, and I think we miss those intimate shows. We're really looking forward to doing some festivals as well, but hopefully next year. But you know, those small venues are. There's just something really special about the kind of intimacy, and it's where you cut your teeth. Like, you cut your teeth in those venues. You cut your teeth in rock and roll because you have to. Like, you can't rely on backing tracks. You've got to just go for it. And especially in those little venues, you have to face that crowd, and you have to, like, come up with a rapport, and everything is out in the open. And that's where you find who you are as a performer, as a band, and as a community. Thank you for having us and chatting today about all things Lyoness. We appreciate it.